welcome to another interactive session with 10 counts. Today we are back with another surging, interesting prospect of super welterweight division, Stefan. So, first of all, congratulations on your recent win, Stefan. So, how do you feel about it
Thank
after
you so
taking
much.
win? Like it was your first professional win, and how do you feel about it right now?
I feel very good because it has been a very long year, and I've been training since January. I have some opportunities to fight, but sometimes I got fight postponed, fight cancelled, and finally I had this victory, so I feel very good. So I just didn't want this year to be wasted just like that.
So yeah, like you got the win at the end of 2021. So that sets a really intriguing part for you in the upcoming year. And what are your plans for the next year? Like, are you planning to remain active throughout the year? How many fights are you planning to take in the next year?
Next year, I believe that I'm going to make at least 6 to 8 fights by 2022.
So it's going to be a long year, really long year. And since there are not many contenders available in the division right now, you can clearly climb towards the title really soon. And so WBC Asia Continental title is something that is on the stake right now. You really have to win a lot more fights. So what are your plans on grabbing title? Like, do you want to go for the WBC title or do you want to continue yourself in the IBC title?
Yeah, this is boxing, and when it comes to boxing, everyone wanna win the title. So we know that the first title that everyone wish to have is the WBC. So if it's for the WBC title, I'm ready to go for it. But next year, I try to work more hard to have more boxing fast, so my rating can go a little high, so I can have at least have the opportunity to fight for the WBC title. Of course, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, because as per your plans, like if you're planning to take on 6 to 7 fights in the next year, and if you win all of them, obviously you're going to be a top tier prospect, and your name is going to be there into the title contention. And yeah, obviously you're going to be fighting for the title soon. And which are the fighters that you're eyeing right now? Obviously, the division still has a lot of potential. A lot of names can come to the division, but looking into the existing roster, do you have any opponents on site or any fighter that you'd like to face in the upcoming time?
In the upcoming time, I know that the superweight division has a lot of good fighters. So my job is just to come and fight, and whoever will come to fight with me, that's not my job. I leave my opponent to my manager and my promoter. So anybody they bring on the division, the superweight division, I'm ready to take over.
So, like as you just said, that your promoters and managers, like they handle the fights for you. So, like there has
Yeah.
been some certain circumstances, and obviously that's the way we do it. Like that's the way any boxing event happens. Now, coming down to Indian boxing aspect, how secure do you feel when you say that I leave my fights and my opponents into my hands of promoters? Like, is it really a safe move in India? Because a lot of time we have seen a lot of fighters complain about not getting the evenly matched fights or big paydays. So, like when you say that you totally rely on your promoter and matchmakers, so how do you put it into this context that India is still struggling with managing its boxers and managers under the similar terms?
Yeah, I know that especially in India, it's really hard to trust somebody when it comes to managing your career in boxing because you can get fooled anytime. So I have confidence when I say that I live down my promotion and my manager because we trust each other, and it's going to bring me up for sure. So we are working together to uh, to make a good name in the boxing. So just God willing, we are going to make everything happen by not just by 2022, but in upcoming years. So we trust, and we are ready to work.
That's great. And as you also said that you're eyeing a title, obviously, for that, will you be restricting yourself in the super middleweight division for the time, or do you plan on moving up and down through the weight classes?
Um, when it comes to weight division, uh, I can fight on superweight division. I can fight on middleweight as well as super middleweight. But right now, I need to stay on the superweight weight division. Like before making a hop movement, I need to first leave a name on superweight division. I just don't wanna be going up down just like this with no purpose. When I'm ready to go to middleweight division, I have to make sure that the superweight weight division is completed and my name is inched there already.
So yeah, that's the way you're going to get the title, and that's something that is going to be lining you up for the undisputed tag. And now talking about your
Yeah.
first loss that came against Sachin Nautiyal, it was a unanimous decision loss. So standing today with a successful win in your name, how do you feel about that fight? Do you feel that you can win that fight in the rematch, or do you plan on rematching Nautiyal somewhere down the line?
Where that fight it got me, it got me down when the lockdown. So I really don't have no regrets for that loss because I had a lot of lessons from that loss. Although I wasn't really doing like regular training because the gym was closed down when the lockdown. I was still keeping myself running, doing some homework and shadow boxing. If I have some people to practice with me. So when the fight came for Sachin Richard, I didn't really wanna decline it. So I went and I lost the fight. But after losing the fight, I didn't really consider the fight as a loss because I know that if I didn't really train that much and it was during the lockdown and still I continued by unanimous decision loss, so I can still accomplish more things if I keep on training more hard. So if it comes to doing the rematch, of course, if I have the chance to make the rematch happen, I'm going to get a win, of course, 100%.
Also, like you're a young fighter and you have been making big moves recently. So, and like in these days, this is a very common trend that people who are interested into boxing, they also dive into the promotional business. We have seen a lot of boxers in India, a lot of young boxers who are also promoting their own events right now. And like
Yeah,
the biggest example at the broader scale would be Jake Paul. Like Jake Paul is a YouTuber who came into the boxing scene. Like right now, he is promoting his events. Obviously, India hasn't made it to that mark, but in India, there are several boxers who are also promoters. So, what's your take on that thing? And do you envision yourself doing something similar like that in the future?
yeah, of course, of course. Everybody wanna leave a mark. Everyone wanna leave a mark. Nobody just wanna go to the ring and box after finishing your career. You just retire like this because it's the love of the sport. Like you thinking that okay, I'm fighting. When I retire, what will be my next move? So you just don't wanna be staying home, no boxing because you don't have the ability to box no more. So we try to make something which goes a little similar to what you were doing. If you cannot box, but at least we can be on the sport boxing, promoting boxing, being a manager of somebody or being a promoter of the events. It's all about being the lover of the game.
Like, obviously, this is the aspect, the business aspect. You need to understand the business spectrums also. Like, you need to understand how to promote yourself, how to promote the fight. In that
Yeah,
aspect, what have you learned as someone who can sell his fights? Like it's clear, a promoter obviously promotes you, but it's up to the fighter how he sells the fight. Like when you look at Conor McGregor or Tyson Fury, they are very good at selling themselves. So as a fighter, what do you make of it? Like, do you believe in intense trash talkings? Do you feel that you need that kind of thing in India to sell a fight, or do you feel that Indian fights are still doing well without trash talking and much dishonesty, or not dishonesty, much like controversial stuffs and all? So what's your take on it?
what I believe is that you can have any promoter like let's say Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing is a good promoter. Like I take him as the best promotion, the best promoter I have. So his job is just to promote boxers. If you're a boxer and you don't really know what to do, uh, you cannot think about being a top level boxer if you don't push yourself, if you don't push yourself to the limit. Like a promoter can only promote you, but as a fighter, you have to make sure that his job is to promote me, but my job as a fighter is to make sure that I keep him by my side. By promoting me means by getting more win, by getting more people for him, by getting by entertaining people very well. So this is I think one of the stuff that as a fighter you need to keep that in your mind when when you get a chance where somebody trusting you and promoting you at the best level.
Absolutely makes sense. And also, when we talk about these promoters and promotions, India is a really country that has got a lot of potential in the sport. But unless someone
Yeah,
makes out of the nation, like when you see into the global aspect of boxing, it's a US dominated sport or a European dominated sport where like Britishers or even a country like Philippines, they've got so many world champions. So do you feel that you need to
yep.
step out of the country to make a big name of for yourself? Like in do like how far are you from bagging international fights? That's what actually I want to ask. Like international fights outside the
Okay,
country.
okay. No, I don't think that you have to go out in order to make big fights or make big name win the title. You don't need to. Uh, if you look at Manny Pacquiao, if it came from Philippines. Before him, Philippines was not really known on the sport of boxing. So if that was the case, then he was supposed to move maybe in the UK or in the USA or Mexico because these are the countries that make big names in boxing. But he prefer to stay in Philippines and make Philippines known to the people that we champion can come from Philippines as well. So this is the same case that can happen anywhere in the world. You see, Australia is not really known in boxing, but we just saw George Camboso coming out,
Yep.
beat Teofimo Lopez, and is now the number one undisputed champion from Australia.
Yep.
So anything can happen even in India. You don't need to move to the USA, you don't need to move to the UK just because you need to get big name or big, to win the belts. You can still say, hey, in India and make names in India as well. There's no such thing as it's a must to leave India and go to another country.
Also, I wanted to ask you about the new trend of mixed martial artists and entering the boxing ring and like facing YouTubers or like exhibition fights, whatever it is. Like a lot of UFC former UFC fighters these days stepping into the ring, and most of them are getting beaten up. Like we recently saw Jake Paul knocked out Tyron Woodley in a brutal fashion. Like it really
Yes,
looked bad on Tyron Woodley's legacy. Like he's someone who has knocked out Robbie Lawler, but he
yeah,
ended up getting KO'd by Jake Paul. So what do you think of it?
yeah.
Like, is it fair for ex-UFC fighters or martial artists to step inside the ring, or do you feel that they need to just stay inside their community?
Um, for that, in martial arts, it's everything we use. They use hands, they use legs, ground, body. So when it comes to boxing, we only focus on the hands. You don't focus on kicking, kicking your body or something like that. Just the hand. So those are martial artists that come from MMA and coming to boxing. Of course, they have very less chance of winning the boxing because they are not really into boxing. So they don't give their focus 100% on boxing. They give like 20%, 20% on punching, 40% on kicking, 20 more on the ground level. So when you face a boxer who only focus 100% on your hands, so the chance of you winning the fight is very less because you need more time to get yourself more focused on the punches. So there's no really doubts about seeing Jake Paul giving knockout to that guy from USC from UFC. We knew that he's going to win, so no doubt about it.
Like, and the most crucial factor is that when UFC fighters are stepping inside the boxing ring, they're getting exceptional paychecks. Like Floyd Mayweather started the trend when he fought Conor McGregor, and after that, so many UFC
Yeah,
fighters are just looking for the payday. But like when it comes to India, like still boxing and MMA both are struggling to make its ends meets. But in MMA, I would still say India has got a lot of chance because Matrix Fight Night just popped out of the scene and it's making big moves with
Yeah.
boxing. I would say Super Boxing League was really a innovative idea, but it didn't sustain for a long time. So, what do you feel about it? Are Indian fighters and not just boxers, Indian mixed martial artists and boxers as well, are they getting the amount of money they deserve, or do you feel that in India the payment factor or the financial factor is still massive chaos?
Well, for that, I don't really have something to say about that because it's also depend on the promotion. As you see, that promotion that promotes the MMA, that it had they had the events. I think it was last month in Hyderabad, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So when it comes to paying the fighter, I think you know we need to get more work on that because being a fighter, not only a boxer, MMA or boxing, or you know we need to be taken care of pretty well when it comes to paying the fighter. So I think that might be an issue as well when for paying the fighter. That might be an issue in India as well.
Also about the medical, like when you are into combat sports, injuries are an inevitable part. Like you are going to get injured like
Yeah.
almost every single day, and with that, I believe that you need a proper medical team to back you up when you're injured. What's the scenario in India right now regarding your mental medical health care? Like obviously we know in US or UK the fighters, the boxers, they have got their health insurances and all done by the promoters. So what's the exact scenario in India? Like if you are going to step inside the ring and if you are going to suffer some serious injury, who is going to look after that? And how is it going to get treated?
Yeah, it's all on the promotion hands. Like when you are a promoter, you are promoting an event. You're not only promoting the fighters. You also have to you also have to get your hands on the other side. Like if something goes wrong, because we go to fight. You propose to win, but you don't know how well your opponent is proposed. So you may end up getting some injury, or you may get a punch where you stay on the ground and you need to go to the hospital and get into severe have healed. The promoter needs to make sure that they keep the medical team as good as possible for the life for the life after the ring, because we need to make sure that we have a secure life if something happened inside the ring or inside the cage. Everything has to be on the promotion of the organization.
So that's a lot
Everything
of,
has to be on their hands.
yeah, so that's a lot of tasks that needs to be done, and I hope India is on the surging side and young fighters like you get
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
things that they deserve. So, Stefan, one more thing, like, how did you get into boxing? Like, you could have chosen some other sport. What drove you to get into boxing? Like, are you boxing since you were a child, or did you begin it like at a much older age?
Um, I was 16. No, I was 14 years old. I was doing self-defense back in Congo. But my big brother was boxing. So when I remember one day we were sitting and we start discussing about just a little comparison of self-defense and the boxing. So he asked me, "What do you do self-defense?" I said, "I do self-defense because when you do self-defense, you can defend yourself. You have a competition. You can get good money." Then he told me the good money. If you're not talking about good money, you need to come to boxing. Look at Floyd Mayweather, look at Mike Tyson. So I really didn't want to get into boxing because sometimes when I see my brother coming home bleeding, he can't even chew chicken pretty well because he got the teeth hurting so much. But he just started teaching me a little bit of job at the house. When they travel, then I say I have to keep on boxing. I keep on boxing. I keep on boxing, and directly I just found this love. Like I started giving more time to boxing. I started getting more love for boxing, and before I know, I was into boxing.
So that's how you got into boxing, and you're already into the professional chain. Already, you're envisioning yourself to becoming a world champion down the line. And like you have been from Congo, and you have been into India, and the journey has been spectacular. What are the dreams that you want to fulfill ahead, not just inside the ring, but outside the ring?
Well, I thought outside the ring, uh, in boxing, we know like we have a lot of people that really want to box, but the only thing is that maybe they just don't have the good gym to go to box. They don't have the good coach. So of course I do have a good future for my boxing, becoming a world champion. That's one of my dream in boxing. But when it comes to outside the dream, outside the ring, I really want to help people, to find out that there was a life also in boxing, like getting a good gym for the people where they can go, they can showcase their skill and they can find whether they are good in boxing or not, and getting a good promotion to promote fighter, and giving away the skill, everything which is needful for the people, for the next generation to come up, because we are this generation, and there are people that are behind us that are looking after us. So we have to make sure that when we leave the sport of boxing, we have to let something on our back so that people can trust that, okay, I'm gonna take this step because I saw him when he took this step, he got successful. So this is what we have to do, when it comes to outside the boxing.
So apart from like entering the ring, like showing your boxing skills and fighting, what else do you like doing? Like when you're not into the work mode?
I love listening to music. I love music, old school music.
Okay. So any favorite artists you got?
Yeah, I go 50 Cent, Wiz Khalifa. There are so many High Cube, Chris Brown.
That's a sick collection, bro. And like we're almost on the end of our conversation now. So lastly, if you want to say something to the people who are watching, like your fans, your well-wishers, family.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. All right. Uh, thank you, everybody. So I just hope I keep doing my best, to showcase my skill. And now we are in 2021, so we're closing 2020. We're closing 2021 in a few days, and we just a big 2022. So people, stay tuned. We'll be back. We'll be back soon. Maybe by early 2022, we're gonna be back, and remember the name. Remember the name.
Yeah, Stephen, thank you so much for joining with us, Stephen, and thank you for giving us the time. We'll be back again soon with you,
Yeah.
possibly in 2020 after your
Thank you.
another win, maybe. So thank you, viewers, for joining with us. We'll be back
Yeah.
again soon.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.